Hi there, I'm John from CNCKing.com, and today we'll make a totally custom bank. When I was growing up as a kid, I really liked putting my money in custom banks like this. Generally they were made out of wood and they had a couple of design flaws. For instance, if you want to get access to the money, they had a plug in the bottom, this one does not. And the plug in the bottom would, you'd have to pull it out, but then you'd have to shake the bank to get the money out. Another way around that was actually they had a front part and you had to unscrew it. Both ways that kind of irritated me because they just weren't very efficient. This bank here uses no glue whatsoever, other than just the two pieces of acrylic at the bottom here, and you'll see why later on in the video. This thing is totally custom to spec, my spec basically. So you can see a bit of like a hologram sort of picture in the back. What that is mirrored acrylic with paint filling, and everything here is whitewood. So what we'll do now, we'll take a look at the whitewood here being laser cut. Before we jump to the next video, let me just illustrate a quick design change I made to this. Originally my design called for something like this here. Basically the money goes in here, and it was actually going to be a front part, which is why you see the laser engraving here. When I looked at it, I go, well, this is not very strong, because you can see here how easily it bends. Now I prefer to have something a little bit stronger, so you can see the difference here. I have a far stronger top here. I don't have as many holes, so that strengthens the whitewood. And the other feature is here, if you notice, there's a big hole here, and that is actually filled up here. So it's a much more solid piece. And I also made the engraving on the front that was totally covering the front. So you wouldn't actually see the money drop in, you just see it sort of come in through the back of it. What we'll do now, we'll take a look at the clear acrylic being laser cut. Now you know how this here was cut out, and it's a little bit frosted on the back. I wanted this on purpose because something I like about having a bank is not knowing how much money you actually have in it. If this would have been clear acrylic, every dime and nickel and quarter you would have put into the bank, you would have seen it right away. What I did instead is I used mirrored acrylic in the back and I used this in the front. So as a result, if you look at it, it's a little bit wishy-washy. You'd see that there was money there, but you can't really count it or anything like that. It's just a quick little design feature. And what's really nice about this frosting is I can control the amount of frost. So I put something right against it, like I did with my F16 award sample. Everything's nice and clear, but if you go back, you end up with like a little bit of a visual effect, especially at different angles. So what we'll do now, we'll take a look at this being laser cut. As mentioned earlier, the entire design doesn't require any glue. The only part that did was this here, which is the base, and that's just for convenience more than anything else. What I did is I made it two parts of acrylic, and it's transparent in the bottom. Doesn't really matter. It's not a design feature. Just wanted it to look like it was a little bit floating off the shelf this would be found on. If you notice here, there's an inside part. Now these are two pieces of 6mm or 1/4 inch acrylic. And what this does is provide, when I slot in the pieces of the bank, it can't move left, right, front, back. It's actually stuck inside of this. And at the top, to hold everything together, all I use is an elastic band. What that means is when everything's sitting here, everything is nice and tight here, and the top that might want to open up and close can be held with the elastic band, and the money is relatively safe. There's no difference between that and screwing it in or a bunch of other things. The thing is, if I want access to all the change in there, it literally takes me about 5 seconds just to take the elastic band off, lift off part, and all the money comes flying out. So what we'll do now, we'll take a look at me putting everything together. And there you have it. That's a totally custom bank. If you're wondering about how to get us to make one for you, it's really straightforward. You can either draw something out on a napkin. You don't need any special skills to draw anything out. Just give us an idea of what you want, material preferences that you like. In this case, it was a 1/2 inch whitewood. We have 3/4 inch pine. We have a whole bunch of different kinds of wood available here. We can also make it out of stainless steel. We can make it out of acrylic. We can make it out of veneer. We can make it out of literally any material. If you want a bank made out of cardboard, we can do that too. So let us know how many that you want, what you want it to look like, and also what kind of price point you're looking at. The reason why the price point is important, along with volume, is because I need to get an idea right away what kind of material we can use for it. So if you wanted a nice 6-foot bank made of mahogany, the price point would be very different than something small like this. It also dictates how thick the bank is. In this case here, I have 5 layers of material. And I could have made it wider, I could make it smaller, I can make it any shape, any size, any dimensions that you want. So right away, if I know the budget, I know certain limitations that the design will have, and what we can engrave, what we can cut, and so on and so forth. So contact me at CNCROI.com, and we'll make an awesome custom bank just for you.